John Cena returned to Massachusetts to a thunderous ovation, greeted as a hometown hero. Taking the microphone, Cena reflected on his time as an offensive lineman at Springfield College, noting that the grind of football prepared him for the life he would go on to lead in WWE. He highlighted the words in his introduction, "Last Real Champion," saying those carry a deep meaning for him, especially with Brock Lesnar now determined to end that legacy. Cena didn't hold back in describing the challenge, calling Lesnar intimidating, controversial, and nearly invincible. Cena admitted that turning down the match with Brock Lesnar would have been the safe, smart, and easy option, especially with only 6 appearances left on his schedule. As chants of thank you Cena rang out from the crowd, he responded saying, "That there is why I say yes, because I am the last real champion." He made it clear that he doesn't fight his battles backstage, he fights them in the ring. That, he explained, is exactly why he accepted the challenge against Lesnar. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Cena confessed that he is afraid of Brock Lesnar, but said fear will never make him back down. To end on a lighter note, he joked that his jorts are stronger than Lesnar's jeans, making it clear he's ready for the fight ahead. Nobody does the match-hyping promo like John Cena. There may be better, more consistent promos, but when it comes to putting the final bow on the build to any premium live event match, Cena is tops in the industry. Take it all in because that, as much as anything about him, will be truly missed. Looking ahead, Cena's advertised WWE schedule has also been revealed. His next stop is WrestlePalooza on September 20th, followed by a return at Crown Jewel in Perth on October 11th. This raises speculation about how WWE plans to handle his storyline with Lesnar. Will Lesnar destroy Cena so decisively that he's kept off television until the next premium live event? Or could WWE set up a match for Cena in Perth without him being present in the build? That uncertainty only adds weight to what's coming at WrestlePalooza. The event is shaping up to be historic for more than one reason. Not only will it mark WWE's first premium live event on ESPN's new streaming service, but it could also be a milestone night for Cena, who's chasing his 100th premium live event victory. A statistic revealed during the September 15th episode of Raw confirmed that Cena sits second all-time in this category behind The Undertaker, who holds 107 wins. As previously noted, Cena has only 6 WWE appearances left, with his final date already confirmed. That means he will not have enough matches to surpass The Undertaker's record. Still, WrestlePalooza could represent an important piece of history in his farewell run. The stage is set for Cena and Lesnar, and the outcome could define the final chapter of his legendary career. Do you think Cena will beat Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza and inch closer to that milestone victory? Share your thoughts in the comments below. With WrestlePalooza just days away, the stage was set for a heated confrontation between World Champion Seth Rollins and Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch and their opponents in Saturday's mixed tag team match, CM Punk and AJ Lee. The rivals came face-to-face when Punk and Lee interrupted to a thunderous ovation, greeted by chants of AJ's husband, as Punk allowed his wife to step into the spotlight. The best in the world questioned whether Rollins and Lynch could set their egos aside long enough to present a united front. Rollins fired back by telling Punk that Lee was the best decision he ever made in his personal life, but involving her in this feud was the worst professional choice he could have made. Lee countered by pointing out that she would not even be there if Rollins didn't use Lynch as his personal bodyguard. That prompted Lynch to take a shot at Lee's past injuries, asking, "How are you going to feel when I pummel her face in?" Lee, never one to hold back, delivered her own warning. "What you should be worried about is not even I know what I'm going to do next. I'm a Puerto Rican from New Jersey, sometimes I shank a chick." Rollins attempted to drive a wedge between Punk and Lee, reminding her that he has a habit of leaving when things let him down. That jab was met with a slap across the face, leaving Rollins wide-eyed in disbelief. Punk has long claimed that Rollins and Lynch's egos might prevent them from coexisting as a team, and that tension appeared to surface when Rollins suggested Lynch attack Lee, only for Lynch to refuse. The married duo then began arguing right in front of Punk and Lee, creating the illusion of discord. But the display was all part of a ruse. As Punk and Lee were distracted, Lynch slipped back into the ring and leveled Lee with a manhandle slam. Rollins and Lynch then retreated, standing tall after outsmarting their opponents. For now, any questions about their unity appear to have been put to rest. The crowd's reaction to AJ Lee remains one of the most compelling storylines heading into WrestlePalooza. After a decade away from WWE, there were questions about whether her return would resonate with today's newer audience. The answer has been undeniable. The former Divas champion has been met with huge ovations, proving her legacy is still strong. This was a fiery segment that may have run a touch long, but the energy from the crowd carried it through. With enough tension lingering between the pairs, fans were emotionally invested heading into Saturday, even if the outcome feels somewhat predictable. Who do you think will come out on top at WrestlePalooza? Rollins and Lynch, or Punk and Lee? Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Days after reports confirmed Andrade's sudden release from WWE, the former United States champion addressed fans in his own way on September 15th through an Instagram post that spoke volumes without needing explanation. The image showed Andrade's hand holding a pen, writing the words "thank you" on a sheet of paper. Beside it sat a lit cigar, a gold watch, and a glass of liquor. There was no lengthy message, just the simple caption of #WWE. With that post, El Idolo symbolically closed the door on his second run with the company. Behind the scenes, the situation was far more complicated. Reports indicated that Andrade had gone completely off the radar in the weeks leading up to his departure. According to PW Insider, the reason WWE couldn't get in touch was because Andrade had left the United States for an unnamed South American country and stopped responding to company communications. Compounding matters, Andrade was also dealing with a wellness policy violation during this latest run. WWE chose not to publicly announce the violation, a shift in approach since the TKO Group merger in 2023, where such disciplinary actions are no longer disclosed. Tensions escalated further when Andrade was reportedly told to leave a recent WWE taping and was escorted out of the building. That incident, paired with his unexplained absence, was said to be a major factor in WWE's decision to part ways with him. Now the focus shifts to what's next. Andrade has a history with AEW, and speculation has already begun about whether he might return there following this rocky WWE exit. Do you believe Andrade will find his way back to AEW, or has this chapter changed his career trajectory for good? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow night's NXT will feature the special Homecoming episode live from Full Sail, bringing back several familiar names for the occasion. Originally, the card was set to include Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, and WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton in a 6-woman tag team match against Fatal Influence. Unfortunately, that plan has now changed as NXT General Manager Ava announced on Twitter that Tiffany Stratton has not been medically cleared to compete. In her place, former NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria will step in to join Ripley and Vaquer for the match. Ava confirmed the update in a statement. After her WWE Women's Championship match on SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton is not medically cleared to compete at Homecoming. As a result, former NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria will be taking her place in the 6-woman tag team match against Fatal Influence. The development comes just days after Stratton's title defense against Jade Cargill on SmackDown, a bout that ended in a double countout. During the match, Stratton attempted a top rope moonsault but missed her target entirely, crashing to the floor and hitting her head. She managed to finish the contest, which concluded with Jade spearing her into the barricade before Nia Jax stormed the ring to attack both women. On Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez provided an update on Stratton's condition. He reported that while Stratton is doing okay, WWE has pulled her from Tuesday's show as a precaution, with concussion protocol in place following the scary fall. NXT Homecoming now moves forward with Ripley, Vaquer, and Valkyria standing against Fatal Influence in a match that just gained new intrigue. The absence of Stratton is a setback, but it opens the door for Lyra to make a big statement on one of NXT's most anticipated nights. The opening segment of the show featured drama between LA Knight and Jey Uso following the events of last week, and Knight revealed that he would be competing in the main event in a tag team match against Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. Knight confirmed that he was able to choose his own partner, and he asked Jimmy Uso to be that man, but he refused. Jay stepped in and told his brother what to do, but that fired Jimmy up, so he rebelled and accepted Knight's offer. Jimmy ended up being pinned by Reed in the main event, and after the match, they attacked him even further until Jey Uso made the save with a steel chair in hand, but that wasn't the end of the chaos. LA Knight got hold of the chair and teased further tension between them, but the two men ultimately shook hands. But that was only a momentary partnership, as Knight then hit the BFT to get payback for last week's events when Jay speared him. It was a moment of tension, but one that raised more questions than answers, as comparisons to Roman Reigns continue to follow Jay around due to his recent behavior. Knight's actions were more of a receipt rather than a full-blown heel turn, but there is still speculation about whether Jay will end up turning to the dark side. The tension between the Usos was clear in their backstage segment, where Jimmy refused to take orders from his brother, which then led to Jay having a telephone call with someone. He didn't reveal who that was, but many fans believe it to be Roman Reigns. His tone is continuing to get similar to Reigns' tribal chief gimmick, and it seems like he's being influenced by Reigns to start acting in the manner that he used to. What do you think? Despite dirt sheets claiming WWE isn't planning Jay's heel turn, do you still see it coming? Or does WWE have something else in mind? In regard to the match, it wasn't much different than any other incarnation of the same tag team match we've been seeing with these competitors. This is one area where WWE has struggled lately, with repetitive matches being problematic for a show that once consistently delivered something fresh. Even though Jimmy and Knight haven't teamed together before, there has still been some version of these same few wrestlers involved with each other for far too long, to the point that it's getting stale. Elsewhere on WWE Raw, Lyra Valkyria was out for revenge against Raquel Rodriguez after Roxanne Perez's distraction cost her last week as the two women collided in singles action. Rodriguez was banished from ringside after being caught trying to interfere early on, but it didn't impact Perez too much as she spent the entire match focusing on Valkyria's neck and back. The former Women's Intercontinental Champion showed her resiliency and she fought off everything Perez had until delivering a Nightwing to score the victory. However, it was a short-lived celebration as the Judgment Day duo attacked her after the bell, beating down on Valkyria until Bayley made her triumphant return to action. Bayley has been on Raw in recent weeks, but only in mysterious vignettes where she's been having an internal struggle between her heel and babyface history. However, it appears that Bayley's hugger iteration has won that battle. She helped Valkyria fight off Perez and Rodriguez, but things took a turn as Bayley grabbed her head and seemingly had to fight off the inner voices, which led to Valkyria backing away from her, clearly not fully trusting her former tag team partner. Bayley snapped out of it though as she got out of the ring and hugged Joe Tessitore, a Balor Club guy at ringside, and even kissed Corey Graves on the head before she embraced ring announcer Alicia Taylor. She was busy giving love to everyone, from fans to security guards and even referee Jessica Carr, as the hugger character was on full display for a moment. Bayley was then shown backstage with Lyra, where her inner demons continued to fight as the Ding Dong Hello gimmick appeared, with her calling Lyra an idiot. She was also sporting a shirt that was half black and half white, seemingly making clear that she's going to display a split personality character, which could be entertaining. What do you make of Bayley's new gimmick, and where do you see WWE taking this character? Let us know in the comments below. The rivalry between Penta and The New Day also continued this week as the Masked Luchador faced Kofi Kingston in singles action, which was filled with interference from Xavier Woods and Grayson Waller. Penta rallied against the trio of heels, which led to New Day chance, with the back and forth action being a lot of fun as Penta knocked Woods off the apron. That led to Graves claiming Woods has re-aggravated the neck injury, referring to the one he has had lately. Penta went on to hit a springboard Mexican Destroyer piledriver to get the win, which was sold to perfection by Kingston, but that wasn't it for these guys as Penta ended up being ambushed backstage, only for the War Raiders to get involved. With a six-man tag seemingly being set for the future, Penta is continuing to showcase elements of his star power, which is why many fans want to see him win the Intercontinental Championship. A feud between Penta and Dominic Mysterio is one that could deliver some serious money matches, giving Penta a spotlight beyond this New Day rivalry. Would you like to see Penta go after Dominic Mysterio in the future, and do you believe he'd be a good Intercontinental Champion? Sound off in the comments section. Tensions flared backstage this week when Stephanie Vaquer crossed paths with the Kabuki Warriors, sparking a confrontation that set the stage for a match with Kairi Sane. Asuka volunteered her partner to face Vaquer, giving the duo a chance to weaken the challenger ahead of her Women's World Championship bout with Io Sky at WrestlePalooza. Once the match got underway, Vaquer controlled much of the action. She drilled Sane with a double stomp on the apron, followed by a Meteora and the SVB. Sane, however, refused to stay down. She fought back and connected with her trademark diving elbow to the chest, nearly swinging the momentum in her favor. Looking to finish the contest, Sane climbed the ropes for the insane elbow, but Vaquer cut her off with another crushing double stomp. She then took out both Kabuki Warriors at ringside with a tope before returning to the ring to land the SVB and secure the victory. After the bell, Asuka attempted to rush the ring and go after Vaquer, only for Io Sky to intervene. The two argued in a heated exchange, with Asuka eventually backing down as Sky stood face-to-face with her WrestlePalooza challenger. On commentary, Corey Graves praised Vaquer as arguably the best women's wrestler in the world today, highlighting how high WWE is on her, despite some confusing booking in recent weeks. The match itself delivered, with Sane's work rate once again shining through, even though she continues to be presented more as Asuka's sidekick than a standalone threat. Both women thrived in the spotlight here, but the bigger story may be the rising friction between Asuka and Sky. With WrestlePalooza looming, could Asuka be the one to cost Io Sky her championship opportunity? There's been tension between the Judgment Day lately on WWE television, and those issues continued this week, all of which revolved around Dominic Mysterio's newest ally. Mysterio won the AAA Mega Championship from El Hijo del Vikingo at Worlds Collide last week, and his allies Finn Balor and JD McDonough came out to help him, but were stopped by Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. Ultimately, El Grande Americano ended up appearing to help Mysterio get the win, and while all of Judgment Day hit the ring to celebrate with him, it was Americano whom Dominic was most interested in hugging. That's something that Balor was frustrated by, and he aggressively confronted Dominic this week to question the relationship between Dom and Americano. But he refused to give any details on why they're so close right now. It's clear that a match between Dominic and Balor is going to take place down the line, which has been teased since WrestleMania back in April. Either man could break away from the group, and that's creating an element of unpredictability. But one thing that isn't unpredictable is what's coming next for Dominic, as Rusev confronted him to end this segment, setting up a title match between them. Speaking of El Grande Americano, he was in action this week against Dragon Lee, but in typical WWE fashion as of late, the match featured chaos as AJ Styles ended up getting involved to try to even the odds for Lee. However, that backfired as multiple masked El Grande Americanos ended up appearing, with a third attacker eventually taking Styles out as he was outnumbered against the odds. All of the distractions allowed Americano to capitalize in the ring by getting a win over Lee, with the group all performing their signature point celebration, but the masks seemed to give away who they might be, with one of the attackers' movements being similar to Tyler Bate. The match itself was solid, with Ludwig Kaiser having managed to be even better at this gimmick than Chad Gable somehow, which is certainly impressive. He and Lee worked well together, and the fans bought into all the spots. How did you find WWE Raw this week? Was the in-ring action good? And do you think it built to WrestlePalooza effectively? Sound off in the comments section below. WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler has spoken out for the first time since suffering a recent stroke, sharing an emotional account of his battle with memory loss and disorientation. The medical emergency struck while Lawler was at his condo in Fort Myers, Florida. He was rushed to a nearby hospital where his daughter confirmed the news after he canceled a scheduled appearance, sending waves of concern throughout the wrestling community. Now back home in Memphis, Lawler has finally addressed the incident in a new interview with Fox 13 Memphis. I remember lying in bed in the hospital, and when people that I knew, like family members, came in, and I didn't even recognize them, he said, recalling the frightening aftermath of his third stroke. Lawler admitted that the stroke left him dealing with lingering vision problems and memory lapses. At one point, his condition was so severe that he returned home and couldn't even recognize his own house. Despite the challenges, the King was moved by the support he's received during recovery. People kept coming out of nowhere to thank me and prayed for me and everything, and all of that means a great deal to me, and I want to thank them all for all that, he said. The latest stroke follows a 2023 incident that affected the left side of his body. The recent one impacted the right side and slightly impaired his vision, though Lawler is reportedly able to walk and talk as he continues rehabilitation. Lawler's resilience has long defined his career, and even now, that fighting spirit remains. While he was forced to cancel his appearance at Horror Hound Weekend, fans across the wrestling world have rallied around him with messages of encouragement and prayers for his recovery. Former TNA personality Leticia Cline is recovering after a serious car accident left her with multiple severe injuries, including a broken jaw, broken ribs, a collapsed lung, and trauma to her spine. The crash took place this past Friday in Columbia, Tennessee, where Cline was with her boyfriend, American Pickers star Mike Wolf. Sharing an update through Instagram stories, she was candid about the extent of the damage. "Broken jaw, broken ribs, sternum, collapsed lung, and a lot of swelling on my spine," she wrote. "My mouth will be wired shut, but I still got my brain, and that's all that matters." Hours later, she offered a more hopeful update from her hospital room. A new photo showed Cline upright and walking with the support of a friend, surrounded by medical equipment. She captured the moment, "Got up and walked around today thanks to sis Shannon Passmore." Cline is remembered by wrestling fans for her run in TNA wrestling between 2006 and 2007, where she worked as a backstage interviewer. Before her time in wrestling, she built a successful modeling career, later appearing on Season 5 of Beauty and the Geek and securing several acting credits along the way. Now, the wrestling community and beyond are rallying behind Cline as she continues her road to recovery. We're ending with Kevin Owens, as the prize fighter may be sidelined from the ring as he recovers from neck surgery, but he's still finding ways to stay connected to the wrestling world. Over the weekend, Owens made a surprise appearance for indie promotion Green Mountain Wrestling, this time introducing himself by his old ring name, Kevin Steen. He said,
"Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Steen, and you might know me from some wrestling shows I've been on or some wrestling matches I've had, but tonight's not about me. Tonight is about crowning the very first champion in Green Mountain Wrestling history, which obviously makes tonight a very big show. And I wish I could be there in person because I've been keeping up with Green Mountain Wrestling for a while now and seeing it grow and grow, and it's been pretty exciting. And, if I was there tonight, I'd be able to award that title to the first champion myself, which, if you look at the title belt closely, there might be a certain wrestling move being executed on one of the side plates that has a little something to do with me. So it would have been an honor to be there to do that. However, I'm not there. I'm here in my house, and I'm in my office. That's Godzilla. Pretty cool. It's painted on my wall. There's a giant snake back there. Anyway, so I'm here. So I'm not going to be able to watch the show. I'll just, read the results online on the internet. Technology, it's crazy. You could find out what's happening as it's happening practically, but I won't be able to witness it. You guys, however, will be. So to all of you who get to see it live tonight, I say good luck. You guys don't need luck. You're just gonna watch the show, so enjoy the show, have fun. But the good luck goes to everybody competing for that title. To all of you guys, I say give it your all, and I'm very excited to see who comes out as champion. Until then, hopefully I get to make it out to a show at some point soon and be there in person. But until then, everybody have a blast and good luck. And now let's start the show. I've been talking forever. These people just want to see a bunch of guys punch each other in the face. Come on, whoever's running this, just kill the lights, hit the music, do something. Just get my face out of here and just start the show already. Come on. Jesus.
The prize fighter has already said he hopes to make his in-ring return next year, though nothing is guaranteed. For now, his heartfelt message reminded fans that even while sidelined, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen to many longtime supporters, remains a passionate supporter of the business.